In today's video, we are talking all about skill-based matchmaking, but more accurately, hidden skill-based matchmaking. To a certain degree, this is quite the hot topic, and today I just want to give my honest thoughts, feelings and opinions, as I do feel there is a lot of misdirection when it comes to this topic, with people using it as somewhat of a buzzword, and some people taking on the, opinion that SBMM is bad terminology, it's negative terminology, but that really just isn't the case. First, we have to understand why this system is in place, why you do find it in FPS titles, why you find it in games like Rocket League, and the differences between, casual gaming and competitive gaming, and obviously where the line is between enjoyability and seriousness when it comes to video games, also the kind of people that are complaining about this, and the reasons why they are complaining. This is not a straightforward topic, so I do understand why there is so much confusion out there. Here on YouTube, I have actually seen quite a lot of misinformed videos on this subject. Now, I'm not calling anyone out. If anything, this is just a video to get people talking, to try and give my honest opinion about it in terms of where I think it should be applied and where it shouldn't be, the way it has affected games and some games that I do enjoy, negativity and the positivity of the community. And as always, if you don't agree with anything that I've said in this video, please let me know down in the comments. Or if you do agree with what I've said and you want to set the record straight for other people too, and to help to reinforce information within the video, that is a great thing too. So what is skill-based matchmaking? Well, it's basically a fair fight system introduced to games to group players into skill levels, ranking players based on their performance to ensure game balance. There are different ways that this could be implemented depending on the game, but down to its roots, it is basically just a balancing mechanic to make the game more fair. In the early days of this system, you would usually find a ranked playlist or a competitive mode. This would be where you'd find the major implementation of such system, with the normal game mode just matching you to players that have the best ping and players that are most likely closest to you. This being regional matchmaking, so if you're a player from Europe, you'll be matched to another player from Europe. It's pretty simple stuff, really. Some games use the ranked system and others use the performance-based matchmaking as well, putting players into group based on their performance of the last couple of games they've played. But again, this is another form of matchmaking that usually was, more implemented on the competitive side of the game. However, in recent years, these types of matchmaking have been snuck into games on the casual side, and this is where the main issue comes from. For the majority of the games that you'll find today that are considered to have a competitive side do actually in fact have some type of skill-based matchmaking that is actually not visible to the player. This is an unofficial ranked system. Again, it caters towards trying to make it a fair fight for everyone involved. However, this sometimes isn't the case because you end up on the lower end of a skill bracket, and every game that you get into, you could just be getting killed over and over again. It can be really hard to actually just stay 1-for-1. This can make the game less enjoyable and more of a hardened experience where every time you go into it you feel like you have to really try. Which if you're a casual gamer, you're most likely playing just to chill. However, there is something to be said for challenge within video games that do make them fun. So I won't disregard that factor neither, although I will say the inclusion of matchmaking into casual games, and just maybe the biggest gripe from the community, is not just the alienation for those casual players, but also the alienation for content creators trying to do their trade. This is honestly why the subject matter is such a loud thing, is because the content creators themselves that are going into public matches and trying to crush players and trying to do really good gameplay for people are not getting the results that they want from just matchmaking in general. This means that some of the players from the COD community have actually resorted in making second accounts where they have really bad stats on it, and then they join on their prime account or their main account in order to record some footage of them poning some noobs. Because let's face it, a player going 1-for-1 each game is not really that entertaining to watch, but a person dropping a nuke on, say, the COD game, yeah, that's fun. Skill-based matchmaking has become this big button issue because of the influencers and the content creators, because they're finding it hard to do their craft. The term for doing this is called smurfing, and this isn't just something that happens in the COD community, this happens in Rocket League, this happens in Counter-Strike, it pretty much happens in any game that there is a competitive scene on. And now further in that, any game that has an unofficial skill-based matchmaking system in play So this is even a factor on Battlefield games on console. Although on games like Battlefield there is a server option to just join on games anyway, meaning you can actually bypass the automated systems. The nature of skill-based matchmaking is not a negative one. It was never designed to be a negative impact in a game. In fact, it was meant to be a good impact. It is just how the players have perceived it and what players do to get around it. I personally do really like to have skill-based matchmaking within my games. I like it because then if a game's got a high skill curve and a lot of mechanics to master, going up against players that are of equal skill or even better than me actually improves me as a player, and I really do like that. The real huge negative and the elephant in the room for me when it comes to skill-based matchmaking is when I'm actually playing with a player who is less skilled in a game and the matchmaking system isn't defined well enough in order to actually match us in a correct game together, and it leaves the other person with a bad impression of the game, or it's just not as fun because they're struggling in the match. This has happened numerous times to me and friends, whether we're playing Counter-Strike, whether we're playing the new Black Ops Cold War, with Snoopy Tom actually saying it's like night and day in Cold War when he actually joins on me in comparison to when he solo queues, with players just being insanely harder. He actually said that he thinks that I'm in a blacklist of some kind on that game where I get put in with a load of cheaters. Also in games like COD there has been a lot of speculation of the game actually nerfing better players, bottlenecking stuff like hit detection within gunfights, and a lot of underhanded tricks in order to make the worst player come out on top. Now obviously that cannot be 100% definitively proven, although there has been times where I've looked at my own footage and seen that, well, I should have well killed someone, yet they've still been fine and I've been taken down by like 2 or 3 bullets. This could be due to internet as well, because there are many forms of hit detection compensation. Well, speculated that is. I think the thing you want to take away from this video is that, well, skill-based matchmaking, SBMM, is not a system, a mechanic that is negative. It's not really something that should be used as a buzzword on your performance of a game. It's also not a system that you should really be getting frustrated and upset about if it's implemented in a game. However, if it is introduced to casual playlists, it does introduce a lot of problems within the community, which is really the takeaway factor. It does decline the overall quality of enjoyability within a game and alienates the casual fans as well as the content creators, impacting the entertainment factor that a game can deliver. I do think if a game is arcade and casual and not meant to be played seriously, that the implementation of skill-based matchmaking or performance-based matchmaking shouldn't actually be implemented. Although if a game is like Counter-Strike and playing something like the competitive game mode, then yeah, sure, it should be implemented, and this would actually please pretty much everyone. Public stomping is something that actually made FPS games and the genre really explode in terms of like videos like here on YouTube and stuff like that, pretty much elevating things like COD. There is no real reason why something like skill-based matchmaking should have been introduced to the casual ecosystem. But anyway, that's just my thoughts and feelings on skill-based matchmaking, the impact to the community, where it should be and should be applied, just some of my honest thoughts, feelings and opinions. If you have any input or think I've missed anything important out, let me know down in the comments. I want to know everyone's opinion on this subject, and I want us to have a discussion down in the comments. I will be interested to hear what you've got to say. With that said, that's going to do it from this video today. If you did like this video, then please like it, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Don't forget to hit the notification bell to be notified to other videos that I do here on YouTube. Most likely the next video is going to be review style content. With that said, I've been Jaguar from Tech Evolved, and I will see you in the next video. Or on the battlefield if you are within my skill group, that is. I'm not gonna lie, you may have to smurf.